Please turn to page 211 for the sentences chapter. This chapter is set up with two sections. One is a visual chart that you will show children, and it's called the who-what chart, so that they will understand how to form a complete sentence. After that, you will have worksheets that students can use in order to form their own sentences. It's a wonderful chapter because it's filled with many different activities so that your students will actually understand what a sentence is, and that it's full of many different parts that when they understand those parts, they can create more sophisticated sentences. Let's go ahead and look first at the who-what chart. The who-what chart is a colorful, large chart displayed for students to visually see how to form a sentence. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through all the parts of the chart for you, and then we're going to use it so that you can see how you can help children form sentences for their story as well as for informational writing. Let's go ahead and get started. On page 212, notice you have a who-what chart. On this chart, we're going to go through all the different parts so that you will understand how it'll be used in order to help students form sentences. The top part of the chart is the subject section, and this is when we are asking students, who or what are we going to be writing about? That subject is going to be a noun, and then you have on this flap living things, places, and things. So at first, the first thing we want to show children, who or what are we writing about? And then we identify what it is that we're writing about. And later you can actually show, oh, that was a living thing, or that was a place, or that was a thing. The next part of our sentence is the predicate. That's going to be kicked off by the verb. That's why the verb is the most powerful part of speech, because it begins the predicate, where you have a lot of the meaning of the sentence. So when we say, what about the subject? So for instance, if I ask the students, who or what are we writing about? A monkey. What about the monkey? Now we have to give the monkey some sort of an action, but before we even do that, we want to really focus in on what kind of action. Is this going to be a story that we have our monkey in, or is this information about the monkey? So now we're not just kicking off a predicate, we're having students think about the meaning of their sentence. So if we said, who or what are we writing about? A monkey. Oh, that's a living thing. We're going to write about a monkey. What about the monkey? Are we writing a story, or is this information about a monkey? Oh, we're writing a story. What about the monkey? Now you have two questions. What did the monkey do, or what happened to the monkey? We may say something like, what did the monkey do? And now the students are thinking about the monkey's action. So the monkey ate a banana. Excellent. Or we want an information sentence. Who or what are we talking about? A monkey. What about a monkey? And then a monkey needs many things to survive. Oh, so that's the information. That's an information sentence where we were learning about what the big idea, what information were we learning about a monkey? Our top section of the chart, which is helping students not only identify the subject, the predicate, visually. Notice I'm not saying subject and predicate to them at this point. I'm just saying who or what for the subject and what about for the predicate. And then after that, we're looking at, is this a story sentence or an information sentence? And then we're putting the two parts together to create a complete sentence. So we have our subject, predicate, put it together, there's our complete sentence. We're going to look at the next part of this chart, which is a flap underneath. Now let's go over to our chart. So here we had what we just reviewed, the who or what, and then the what about. The who or what is our subject, and that's going to be identified by a noun, which could be a living thing, a place, or a thing. And we're asking students, who or what are we talking about? And they said, a monkey. So then we went over and said, oh, that's a living thing. Let's say it now, the monkey or a monkey. What about the monkey? Now that's our predicate and verb. Obviously, I'm not going to say that to the students. I'm just saying, what about the monkey? Are we writing a story or asking information about the monkey? Once we identified that, then we created our sentence. So we had the monkey ate a banana for our story sentence, or the monkey needs many things to survive for our information sentence. Now notice those two boxes are red because that is red light stop. Do you have a complete sentence? Do you have your who or what and your what about? Which eventually students will be asking, do I have my subject or my predicate? That's the whole reason why we learn subject and predicate, in order to create more powerful sentences. Underneath the subject flap, you will open it up and see the adjective box. Here we have the question, what kind of, with a line. That's where we put the noun. We always ask the noun, what kind of. So if it was monkey, we would say, what kind of monkey? That helps us come up with the adjective. Are we going to describe how our monkey feels, or his personality, or use the 5 senses to describe our monkey? Now I showed you the 2 boxes that are red. Underneath, we're going to learn more about this. This is a yellow box. This is caution, caution, yellow light. Do you have adjectives? We'll come back and look at this adjective box in a moment. The last thing I want to show you are the green boxes. Those are green light go. Do I need to have these different parts in my sentence? Now that we see the coloring and we understand what it means, let's go back to our book. On page 212, we went over the subject and predicate to make a complete sentence, and then down below we have our when, where, why, how. These were green because these were modifiers, and these modifiers were green light go. Do I need them in my sentence? Go ahead, go in the sentence. Or green light go, do they need to move in the sentence? We'll find out more about that as we go through and use the chart. So let's review. The red is for the subject and also for the predicate. We are not saying to kindergartners or first graders subject and predicate. We're just asking, when we say the subject, who or what are you writing about? And then once we have the who or what identified, then we could say to them, that's a noun, and identify what kind of noun it is. That's a living thing, or that's a place, or that's a thing. Once we have our subject, then we went to the second part of our red boxes, and that was the predicate. And that's where we asked, what about? And then we put our subject in that what about question. What about the monkey? What did the monkey do? What happened to the monkey? Or what was the big idea about the monkey? When we asked the what about question, we had to determine, is this going to be about a narrative? Or, we go back to our light bulb, is this information that we're writing about a monkey? This red section has our subject, predicate, and the subject is identifying who or what, the noun, and then what about, and that's our information. So now we have our red section for the who or what and what about, the subject and predicate. Now let's look at the chart in color. Notice on your screen you have the color-coded who what chart on display. Let's go back and look at this again. So when we're looking at our subject, what do we have? Our who or what is the information about. So when we're forming a sentence, we always start with that, our subject, who or what. Once the children identify that, then we tell them that's a noun. And then we also go down and we point to the chart about what kind of noun it was. If the students were writing about a thing, maybe they were writing about shoes, then we would say, who or what are you writing about? Shoes. Oh, that's our noun. That's a thing. Or maybe the students were writing about a place, like Disneyland. Who or what are you writing about? Disneyland. Oh, that's your noun. That's a place. Or they're writing about the park. That's a noun. That's a place. So it's always important that you're adding that information so that after a while students just know what that means because it's attached to them forming sentences instead of an isolated skill. The second part of that red section was the what about. That's our predicate kicked off by the verb. This section right here has a red box with story questions or information questions. This is absolutely critical for students to understand that their sentences can be a story. Who or what am I writing about? A monkey. What about the monkey? And then they have their what did the monkey do or what happened to the monkey so that they can actually form a sentence with that action in it. The monkey, what did the monkey do? The monkey ate a banana. It helps them understand that now you have this picture in your head. These are the questions you ask to form a complete sentence. The same goes with the information question. What was the big idea? What's the big idea about the monkey? What information are we learning about a monkey? So whenever you come up with your predicate, your what about part of a sentence, you always want to go to, is this a story or information? And students will eventually start thinking like that, so their sentences will actually be about what they're writing about. Now let's look underneath the red flap of the subject. Notice on this page, I'm showing here, underneath where the red subject flap was, the adjective box. Whenever you are adding an adjective to your sentence, modifying the noun, you always want to show children this is what we're going to do. Do we need to, first of all, describe our noun? Is it important in the sentence? So I may go back and say, monkey. Is the monkey important? He sure is. He's doing an action. He ate a banana. So now let's go ahead, and then you can take out a salt and pepper shaker with beads in it and say, let's add some fancy words. So then we go to our flap and say, whenever we know that it's important to describe about, and we know the monkey is, we always ask the question, what kind of monkey? Putting our noun in that what kind of question. What kind of monkey, and don't forget to add the rest of the sentence. What kind of monkey ate a banana? I have to figure out how I'm going to describe my monkey. Am I going to describe how my monkey feels or his personality? Or am I going to describe, using the 5 senses, what my monkey looks like, sounds like, smells like, feels like, tastes like? Which one do I need? Well, if I'm talking about how my monkey ate a banana, I probably want to tell you how my monkey feels. How does my monkey feel if he's eating a banana? Oh, he's hungry. We'll go back and say, the hungry monkey ate a banana. So that's going to help students not just add adjectives, but understand that their adjectives truly have to modify the noun and help provide more meaning to their sentence for the reader.